Welcome to our new podcast. We have Jason Pooley.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's actually really fun to do it on the other side of the coin, to actually be invited onto a podcast. So I appreciate it.
Jason Pooley, coaching expert and consulting expert, also founder of the House of Yoga.
I didn't realize the power of yoga on my mind and whole life. So then I decided to do a yoga training. But I had a vision to build a community and to help people improve their life.
Checked out for Jason podcast. It is going to be really amazing. Hello everyone. Welcome to our new podcast. We have a wonderful guest today, Jason Pooley. Is that correct?
You got it. Yeah. It's sometimes a tricky one to say, but well done.
Yeah. So Jason Pooley, who is a coaching expert and consulting expert, also founder of the House of Yoga, and he's also hosting a podcast called One Great Life. Is that correct, Jason?
Absolutely. Yeah, Venkat. Yeah. So, I have my own podcast, One Great Life, and it's actually really fun to do it on the other side of the coin, to actually be invited onto a podcast. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're mostly welcome. We are really privileged to have you as our first few guests. So it is going to be really amazing. So once again, guys, I'll add the description for the podcast in the description. Please go and check it out for Jason podcast. So Jason, shall we start going to the
I'm ready.
Podcast?
I'm ready.
So could you please share us what you are doing and where it all started about your coaching business and all?
Yeah, I'll kind of rewind the clock a little bit. So my background was tennis. I played a lot of tennis, and that was my early kind of days of career, was playing tennis and then coaching tennis for many years, which was an amazing experience. I still love it. I still watch a lot of it. I still play. I actually played last weekend, and absolutely love it. So I spent a lot of years on a tennis court playing and coaching, whether that was junior performance players or even to adult beginners. It was a real range of people, and it was a lot of fun, some great memories. And so my journey then transitioned into yoga. I actually was teaching tennis in Hong Kong and had lots of injuries. My body was kind of falling apart in late 20s, which is not great. And so I was looking for more holistic practices to kind of feel better in my body, and also like a rehab experience, but also I didn't realize the power of yoga on my mind and whole life. So it really had a huge impact, a positive impact for me. And so I decided to actually left Hong Kong, came back to London. I was still teaching tennis. So I started to practice yoga all around London. And then I decided to do a yoga training. And this is back in like 2009, I think it was. So some time ago now. And I trained to be a yoga teacher. I did a lot of training, was going out to the US quite a lot. And then that took me on to kind of building out a yoga studio business in London called the House of Yoga. We still actually have the training business. Super successful, amazing experience, because I was never actually a businessman or a business person, right? But I had a vision to build a community and to help people improve their life, because yoga had such an impact on my life. So started to build out the House Yoga in 2012. And as I said, it was an amazing experience. We then had 2 studios in London as we were growing our teacher training business as well. So amazing memories. I practice yoga every day, even if it's for 20 minutes, but I still get on my yoga mat every day. It's part of my kind of energy management, and keeps me grounded, keeps me focused and relaxed as much as possible. So it's as I said, we still have our training business, the House of Yoga. So we've trained now over 1,200 yoga teachers in the last kind of 12 years. So it's fun. That then has brought me to now more coaching and consulting. So for the last 6 years, my career has transitioned more into coaching and consulting. It kind of first started, Venkat, as more life coaching, like lifestyle, high performance coaching, really helping people kind of understand and improve their mindset, their habit optimization, which obviously had an impact on themselves and their lifestyle. So yeah, did a lot of work with lots of individuals and also group coaching as well. And that over the years has kind of progressed more into business coaching, because I've obviously had my entrepreneurial journey, I still have. I'm able to help lots of founders and CEOs and business owners in their journey of business, because it's not easy. Sometimes can feel
Mm,
very lonely. So yeah, it's I love it. I love coaching. It's an amazing discovery process and lots of insight for whoever's being coached and the coach, but then obviously lots of inspired action to get the results that they want in their life, whether that's career or personal life.
yeah, yeah. That was really an inspiring journey. A whole lot of different kinds of experiences you've been
Yeah.
going through in your life. How is it feels like in terms of the coaching? Like coaching normal individuals who is working 9 to 5 is a kind of different, and helping the business people with the personal coaching and related to the mindset is a completely different kinds of experience you will have. So, what kind of differences you generally see in these separate kinds of areas, especially in terms of the people?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if I'm working with, say, a business owner or most of my clients now are actually male business owners, typically kind of like they're in their first few years or maybe the year five of business. And um, yeah, but it's still working on them and their a big one is because they obviously get so consumed in their business. So it's still life coaching because it's life, right? Business is life. So
Mm,
you
mm,
can't separate the two. So there's a lot of coaching that's more life coaching, lifestyle coaching, but then it can get more strategic and more focused on business strategy. But I don't really separate. I used to separate it when I first started coaching. It was like life coaching here, business coaching here, leadership coaching here, but they kind of come together, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, completely makes sense. So, as you mentioned, like you working with the business owners. So, what kind of advices or what kind of coaching you generally provide them when they feel stuck, maybe because of the personal life challenges or the mental shifts they have in terms of
Yeah.
the numbers or anything? What kind of advices or
So
anything, if it is kind of examples you can give?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, happy to. So look, every individual is different. I actually have a like a mastermind, a group. So right now my big focus is building out what we call Elevate, which is a group of high performing men under pressure, right? So they're kind of under
Mm,
pressure. A lot of them have family life, they've got young kids, they've got their business that they're growing, and there's pressure there. And they got to feel kind of in that, obviously, and present for their team members, present for themselves, but also it's hard for them to kind of extract themselves from the business. Let's say they're in their business, but then they go home to be kind of fully present. And look, I've certainly experienced all of this. And so we would kind of work on a lot of that. And I guess, I don't like the phrase work-life balance because again, it's all one,
mm,
but many of these business owners are consumed in their business. So they first started their vision of the business, their dream is to create more freedom. But actually, what a lot of them find is it's not freedom. It's because they're so consumed in it. It's the opposite. So my work is to really help them unravel out of that. And a lot of that has to begin in the mind, like mindset work, habit optimization, whether
mm.
that's energy management, working on their energy. So obviously stress management, right? So it varies, but yeah, I'm a little bit more holistic a bit more left field when it comes to coaching because I've got my kind of business experience, leadership experience, but also holistic practices through yoga, right? So I've got a kind of
Mm,
holistic focus. Um,
yeah.
but again, everyone kind of is different, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, completely makes sense. Of course, it is the mindset is obviously is different from one individual to the another individual. But I want to ask you about how does the business owner's mindset directly influence their business performances or the personal well-being? Like, so you mentioned like you don't really mean to say the work-life balance, but is there are there people who is really struggling to balance
Absolutely.
both the things?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. That's the big hot button. That's the big, I'd
Yeah.
say the big pain point for so many business owners, right? Is so the business owner a lot of time can also be the chokehold on the business because they need to be showing up more often than best selves in a
Mm,
better state. It absolutely impacts the business's results and performance, but it also has an impact. It kind of trickles down into team members, depending on, what does that look like? How many team members are there? But yeah, so typically a lot of the coaching that I do has to start with mindset, right? That's the first place that we
mm,
start to focus on because that has the biggest leverage, the biggest impact. And then typically it's around vision, working on their vision. What is it? What is it that they really want? What do they see happening in the future? And starting to move towards that in steps towards that vision, right? And
yeah.
of course, vision for everyone is very different, right? So I love that work. I really love the work of vision and mindset. That's kind of where I feel like I'm, yeah, kind of at my best.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. So generally, we generally feel inspired when we see visionary people, especially those business people, business who is running the businesses, who is having bigger vision people. It just by seeing them, like we feel inspired. But for you, it is kind of different, where you directly approach them and you directly help them with their visionary things and all. How it feels like you like? Did you inspired by anyone in the past or currently?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, many people actually. I've always had in my own mindset, I've wanted to learn and train from, I'd say, like, the best people in the industry. So a lot of my training was I spent a lot of time in with a guy called Tony Robbins and his community. So I don't know if you've heard of
Mm,
him. Amazing
yeah.
business entrepreneur. He brought a lot of life coaching into um, accessible, right, over the last kind of
Mm,
20, 30, 40 years. So I did a lot
yeah.
of training there. There's a guy called Brendan Burchard who's, I'd say, the number one high performance coach on the planet. So I did a lot of training and work with him. So I've definitely been inspired by yeah, others. I kind of feel like we need to be inspired by others, right? But I'll go back on the point you mentioned about vision. So because vision is super important in business, right? You got to, like, there's a visionary, usually typically that's the founder, that's the business owner, or maybe the CEO that's coming in. And then to be able to share that vision with others, i.e. team members, is not easy. That's a big challenge, but that's also a beautiful part of the journey. And so, yeah, not everyone is a visionary. Like,
Mm,
that's why you have visionaries in the business, and then you'll have, like, say, management team, right? The people that are doing the task towards the vision.
yeah.
So yeah, for me personally, definitely more of a visionary. That's
Mm,
that's I kind of feel like that's naturally that's at my core who I am.
mm, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's get back to about the few things. Like you mentioned something like the sustainable high performance. Like I know about the high performance, but I just want to know more about the what is sustainable high performance.
Yeah. So there's a difference, Venkat, between high performance and happy high performance, right? So many high
Mm,
performers, they're performing, but they're also at the cost of burnout. Say their relationships are breaking down, their
yeah.
health and well-being, um, ultimately impacts their kind of happiness. So there is a difference between high performing and happy high performing. Obviously, happy high performing is not easy, but that's a great balance, right?
Mm,
So when we look at sustained high performance over the long term, over a long period of time, we're looking at specific habits. And so we're looking at the habit of clarity. So seeking clarity, that's obviously vision, right? And it's like, what is it that I want? Where am I going, or where are we going? What matters most to me, or what matters most to us? What kind of person do I want to be? What kind of impact do I want to have? So there's a lot of clarity in that habit. And then we're looking at energy, super important, energy management. This is important for business owners because a lot of business owners, as I said, they get so caught up in their business, and it takes a lot of time and energy, and they forget to look after themselves. So energy management is super important when it comes to high performance, because without energy, it's not really success, right? So
Yeah.
then we shift towards what we call courage. So confidence. So for a lot of, let's say a lot of people that want to shift into more of an entrepreneurial journey, that's a big, it's a big shift. It's a big jump, right? And so courage kind of shows up in different ways, but courage is a high performing habit, like the courage
Yeah.
to take action even if there's fear, right? There's fear that's showing up, because what happens is, Venkat, when someone demonstrates courage, and I don't mean changing the world, it could be that, okay, I'm going to try this new habit in my business, or I'm going to take on this new person. That's courage, right? There's so many ways that courage is experienced. Confidence comes then. So confidence comes after courage. All right.
Yeah.
And so obviously, as you know, confidence has a huge impact on people's performance, uh, individually, or as a group, as a team. So yeah, so to answer your question, when you're looking at high performance, you are looking at these habits. So clarity, energy, courage, and then productivity, more around not so much time management, but self-management. So where are you spending your time? Where are you spending your energy, and like what are you focusing on that's going to move things forwards? So prioritization, productivity, and then finally influence. So what I mean by that is, how are you influencing yourself, and then how are you influencing others, right? Specifically for a business owner, they have great influence. They can have positive influence, but they can also have negative influence as well, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking at holistic, sustainable high performance. You're kind of looking at those core habits.
Yeah. So yeah, following up to that, like I have seen many business people. So they'll give all out, like they'll give their 100% for the business. They spend more hours than usual to make the successful business and to grow in their life or the business. And most of them, at least for me in my network, most of people say to me, I ask them like, why are you working so hard? They answer me like, it is for my family, for myself to grow, to give them the best life, etc., etc. But in this process, they forget to take care about their families. Like they were not able to give the time for their family. They don't go to the vacations. They sacrifice everything, but they are doing it for their family. But they are at present moment, they
That's
are
it.
not looking after that family. For these kind of people, what kind of advice you can give, or what kind of suggestions you can share? It would be really helpful.
Yeah, it's such a dilemma, right? Because, like I said
Yeah.
earlier, that many business owners, their whole dream vision is to create more freedom in their life, and
Mm,
more time with their family and loved ones, and more time for hobbies and passions. But a lot of the time that doesn't play out. So yeah, that's where we start to really look at boundaries, putting in putting in boundaries and discipline, where it's like blocking out time. So this is work time, this is business time, and
mm,
now it's hobby time, now it's family time. And so that's really can get distorted, and it's a real challenge. And look, let's be honest. For me, I mean, I have clients that they're kind of early on in their business journey, and they do have to put some real solid time into that business for it to
mm,
work. So, and I've experienced it myself. but there's got to become a point where you've got to just commit to finding greater balance. And a lot of that is putting in boundaries. Again, it comes back to mindset. It comes back to prioritization and values. Like, okay, so
Yeah.
they obviously value family life, but sometimes the action doesn't show that, right? So yeah, it's not easy, but it's possible. But it takes some work, and it takes a lot of kind of shifting and focus and habit optimization.
Yeah. Completely makes sense. So for the people who is really getting started in the business, who is really struggling to optimize their time, uh, how do you think their calendar should be in a if we want to just give them a simple formatable advice, like, so
So
if they sort the
yeah, good
things.
question.
Yeah.
Great question. Again, everyone is different, but typically
Mm,
what seems to work is it's almost like get the most important things done, or one thing done that's going to move things forwards for the business, and do that first. So, i.e., a great strategy is when you wake up in the morning, for the first 20-30 minutes, that should just be for you. I know it's selfish, but and it's difficult if they've got young children, right? But it's like, don't
mm,
go to the phone, don't go to your phone, don't go to emails, don't go to your laptop. Just do whatever's going to help you get into the right, set your mind and body in the right place. Some people it's meditation. Some people they go and do some yoga, or they do a workout. So they work on themselves first. Then after that, they do the most important things for the business. Yeah.
yeah.
It's almost like done before one. Do that before 1 p.m. Done before one, and then in the afternoon you can kind of just be a bit more flexible. Um, if you're going to
Mm,
get distracted then, right? But yeah, this is putting in habit optimization, right?
yeah.
And making that a consistent priority, because then once consistency is happening, you start to see better results. Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
And that's where coaching comes in, because coaching is people don't need, or they don't want coaching. They need coaching. I should say that again. They need coaching, but they don't want coaching, right? What they want is results. So they want
Mm,
a better result, whether that's their health, in their business, in their relationships. They want to be earning more money. So coaching is the facilitator. Coaching enables that person, whoever that is, to get the result they want, right?
yeah.
But they're not waking up in the morning thinking, ah, I want a coach. They're just thinking, I've got this problem and I need to solve it. Oh, coaching. Let's work with a coach, right? And that's the power of coaching. Um,
Mm,
yeah, and you really do start to see it's. So think about it as you are making changes, but it's not so much trying to make these changes, it's changing the person.
mm,
The transformation is in the person, yeah? And then the
yeah.
things around that person start to change in a better way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that does
Completely
that
makes sense.
that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, it is completely makes sense. So recently somewhere I read that. So to optimize your time or to improve the mindset of what are you doing now, it is usually starting with the hardest thing in your day,
That's it.
and
That's
completing the
right.
hardest thing in your day will help for the rest of the day. Like if you feel like going to the gym is hardest thing for you, do it the first thing
That's it. Do
starting
the
of the
hardest
day.
thing. That's a
Yeah.
good psychology. That's a good mindset, because typically,
Mm,
because our minds, we know what to do, but we don't do it. Right? So
mm,
we kind of go to the easy thing, and go and I don't know, if like even in my own life, right? I find that happens sometimes, and I'm like, okay, not so much these days, but it used to a lot, right? I don't know. Someone might go and do the ironing for half an hour, but actually, while you're doing the ironing, you should be doing this, working on this project for the next hour. Or yeah,
yeah.
if the gym, the workout is the hardest thing, go do that. Like get it done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so having a coach is super powerful, because then you've got accountability.
Mm, yeah.
Um, I don't know, have you ever made excuses to do something?
Of course, of course. We all make excuses every day. Yeah,
Exactly, right? So, but
yeah.
if you have an accountability system around you,
Mm,
you have less opportunity to drop into excuses,
mm,
right? And
yeah,
that's the power of the journey.
yeah. I completely agree with you in this point because even I have had few experiences in my life where, of course, we know what to do in our life, but if someone is a kind of expert like you comes into the life, if you do this thing, your life will change, or if you do this thing, whatever the problem you're facing, it will go away. If we listen from an expert, it gives us some kind of additional kind of maybe the trustable factor, I would say, so
I
that
think so. I
we
think there's
can.
a lot of trust. In
Mm,
coaching, there has to be a lot of trust. There has to be a lot of synergy, alignment.
yeah.
You're exactly right. What you just said is, I have this saying of like, if you do the thing, you'll get the thing. So if you do
Mm,
that, you'll get it, right? But for many, they don't do it. It's almost like it's such common sense, but it ends up not being common practice, right?
yeah.
So yeah, it's all
Yeah.
good.
So again, coming back to your business, so you're running your coaching thing, and you also have the House of Yoga. So, what are the kind of strategies, or what are the kind of practices you generally follow to make these businesses successful?
Yeah, so it's a good question. The house yoga, as I said, was a completely different model. So when we opened studios like bricks and mortar, like where people came and practiced yoga, and it was a hub, and it was incredible. The community really grew, and so um, back then I actually had a big team, right? Lots of teachers, big kind of full-time team. We don't have that actually anymore with the house yoga. We still have our training and it's amazing. We still train yoga teachers.
Mm,
We don't have our studio. We actually hire a beautiful studio in London and in Shepherd's Bush. And so it's small team now, it's facilitation team. So that's still a big part of mine and our impact in the world because we love it. And it's amazing.
mm,
Um, but a lot of my time now is definitely I spend more time in my coaching consulting business. So yeah, like it kind of varies. It comes back to what I was saying earlier is some of it's all life coaching, but I'll have maybe it's one-on-one coaching or group coaching, right?
mm,
I'm actually doing less one-on-one coaching right now. I had too many one-on-one coaching, which was kind of challenging. So my week is spread out and nicely balanced between working with individuals, working inside their business, helping their business as well, right? And we do
mm,
a lot of work around, bringing some strategy in and some leadership work. And I have a tool called the Profit Accelerator. So it's an amazing tool that you start with. So let's say you would start with an assessment and you look at someone's business, and the whole purpose of the Profit Accelerator system is to improve their bottom line, so their net profit margin. So
mm,
with a lot of businesses, obviously, as they grow and their profit and their turnover goes up, it their profit doesn't follow because there's too much cost in the business, right? And so I do quite a bit of work around this profit acceleration model, which is amazing, and it focuses on certain areas, the most important areas that would improve the bottom line of the profit inside that business. And so, just for example, those areas are what we call MDP, which is market dominating positions. Basically, that's their unique edge in their industry and how they can stand out and how they can communicate that. So, for example, let's say I'm working with a hairstylist. I don't actually have a hairstylist as a client right now, but let's say I was working with a hairstylist salon business, and there was 10 hairstylists in one town. How do you stand out? How do you stand out from your competitors? And
mm,
typically that's what we call MDP, which is market dominating position. So that really just means your edge, your uniqueness, and it's in the messaging, right? Whether that's in their communications, whether that's on their website, or through their kind of email communication, social media, obviously. And then we look at something that's super powerful, really, really powerful for a business owner, is joint ventures, so JVs. So it's the fastest way and the most powerful way, if done right, where they can really accelerate the growth of their business, but also their bottom line, is to find collaborations and synergies. It's like that win-win scenario. And so we do a lot of that. That's a big piece of that work, is MDP and joint ventures. There's more, but they are the kind of two core areas that really shift the needle, move the needle in a small business.
Yeah. But so yeah, we almost came to the end of the podcast, but before we wrap up, can you just tell us about your website, your social media profiles and all?
Yeah, of course. So website is jasonpooley.com. So www.jasonpooley.com. So if you search for Jason Pooley on LinkedIn, I share a lot of content on LinkedIn that kind of crosses over to Instagram. Instagram is, my feed is, at Jason Pooley, so Pooley. And so, I typically share a fair bit of content throughout the week, whether that's short reels and videos, some tips and tricks, and how someone could obviously improve their mindset or their energy management, or put this inside their business, and that will help. I typically share quite a bit of content throughout the week, and I have a group called Elevate, which is an amazing community of men, high-performing men under pressure, and they have this community that they can tap into, where it's a great support structure.
No, that sounds really amazing. Do you also have any ongoing newsletter? Or
I do. I have a weekly newsletter that goes out. So that's part of my One Great Life newsletter. So that typically goes out on LinkedIn every Wednesday, and then that gets shared on kind of different social platforms. But if you want to sign up for that, you typically can sign up through LinkedIn. That's my One Great Life, and that's every Wednesday.
Yeah, all right. So everything you mentioned will be added in the description. You can go and check the content Jason is sharing. It is really valuable and wonderful information you get related to the business mindset, coaching, and the perspective of success, seeing it the other way, if I'm correct, right? Not like the work-life balance, it is balancing the life.
Yeah, exactly. And balancing the person.
Balancing the person. Yeah, all right. It was really amazing talking with you, Jason. You have shared very, very amazing details, very amazing insights for viewers or the listeners. It was really nice to have you. And we are
appreciate it. Many thanks. I appreciate it. It's great to speak to you, and let's speak soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.